GSAT-14 is realized as an extended C-band and Ku-band payload spacecraft. It is configured based on standardized I2K bus. This spacecraft will have 6 extended C-band transponders providing pan-India coverage, 6 Ku-band transponders providing Indian mainland coverage, and 2 Ka beacons for propagation studies. The spacecraft is designed to be compatible with the developmental flight of GSLV D5. With a dry mass of 851 kilograms and a liftoff mass of 1,982 kilograms, with a guaranteed minimum operational life of 11 years. This indigenously built cryogenic stage has been painstakingly put together, an elaborate and complex modern-day marvel down to its finest detail. It is prepared to lend its wings to carry the GSLV soaring to success as the nation applauds.
please put ejector on mode 1 basis.
Access console to logs console, ejector is configured in mode 1.
Good afternoon and welcome to all the viewers
Calling COT.
to Satish Dhawan Space
Go
Center,
ahead.
the spaceport of India,
Confirm pulses are off.
located at Sriharikota,
All radar pulses are off.
around 100 kilometers from Chennai. I am Radhakrishnan and with me my colleague Sri Alok, who will bring to you the live coverage of this very significant mission of Indian Space Research Organization ISRO.
Confirm readiness.
नमस्ते दोस्तों, मैं आलोक श्रीवास्तव अपने वैज्ञानिक साथी श्री राधाकृष्णन जी के साथ आप सभी दर्शकों का हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। हम इस समय इसरो के सतीश धवन अंतरिक्ष केंद्र श्रीहरिकोटा के अभियान नियंत्रण केंद्र से आपको आंखों देखा हाल प्रस्तुत कर रहे हैं। आज GSLV D5 द्वारा GSAT-14 उपग्रह का प्रक्षेपण दूसरे लॉन्च पैड से प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा और शायद समूचे राष्ट्र को 9 वर्ष की बधाइयां देने का इससे बेहतर तरीका नहीं हो सकता था।
Today's mission is the developmental flight of geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle GSLV D5. The launch vehicle will use the indigenously developed cryogenic upper stage, which is quite a technological challenge by itself. For the viewers, just a quick update on the overall mission. The orbit for this mission is the geosynchronous transfer orbit, GTO, with the closest point to Earth called Perigee at 180 kilometers and the farthest point from Earth called the Apogee at 36,000 kilometers. So mission will be an eastward launch from Sriharikota. The overall liftoff mass of the vehicle is 416 tons and the launcher height is 49 meters. I look at the satellite that is on board the vehicle, GSAT-14 communication satellite weighing 1982 kg.
जी हाँ, भूस्थैतिक प्रक्षेपण यान GSLV की यह 8वीं उड़ान हमारे लिए काफी मायने रखती है। ये इसरो का एक ऐसा अभियान है जिसमें स्वदेशी तकनीक से विकसित क्रायोजेनिक इंजन का प्रयोग हमारे तकनीकी विकास की कहानी स्वतः ही कहेगा। लगभग 49.1 मीटर ऊंचे GSLV का भार लगभग 416 टन है। ये प्रमोचन यान 3 चरणों से निर्मित है तथा इसका व्यास लगभग 2.8 मीटर है, किंतु इसमें लगने वाले धातु से निर्मित सुरक्षा कवच की तरह यूज किया पेलोड फेयरिंग 3.4 मीटर व्यास वाला है। इस यान से हम 2000 किलोग्राम भारी प्रदाय भार को भूतुल्यकालिक अंतरण कक्षा में प्रक्षेपित कर सकते हैं। इसके पूर्व GSLV मार्क 1 की 6 और GSLV मार्क 2 की 1 उड़ान हो चुकी है। आज की शाम हमारे अंतरिक्ष कार्यक्रम एक नया पड़ाव लेकर आ रही है जब हम इस प्रक्षेपण की सफलता के पश्चात क्रायोजेनिक इंजनों की तकनीक में आत्मनिर्भर हो जाएंगे।
Engine pressures are stable
So view
and
of the mission control
temperatures
center.
are also stable. Log
The launch
side it is
base,
3 TO,
all the specialists are
FP1,
very closely
FP2 are
monitoring the
reading
countdown operations for the
64.2
launch of
Kelvin
GSAT-14
and
satellite by
3 tops is
GSLV-5.
reading 59.4
As you
Kelvin.
are aware, the main
Fuel
objective
side,
of this mission
3
is to perform the flight
TFFP1 is
testing of the indigenously
154.9
developed
Kelvin.
cryogenic engine and stage.
FP2 is reading
The
128.2
49
Kelvin and
meter tall
FP3 is
GSLV-D5
reading
vehicle is standing majestically
32.1
about
Kelvin.
6 kilometers away from the
Pressures
mission
are
control
stable.
center from where we are presently seated. The vehicle is getting ready for takeoff at the opening of the launch window at 16:18 hours. That is 18 minutes past 16 Indian Standard Time. And we have a total launch window of 2 hours 13 minutes. Unlike the sun synchronous mission where we have a very narrow window of almost say 15 minutes, the window is quite large here, 2 hours 30 minutes, which primarily means from 16:18 hours to 18:45 minutes. That is almost 40 minutes past 6 o'clock. The launch is technically feasible. And this launch of GSLV is going to take place on the second launch
hydraulic
pad,
system
SLP.
health checks are normal
And the launch
and
of
charging is in progress.
GSLV-D5 is the 8th flight of GSLV. As you may be aware, the first flight of GSLV, GSLV-D1, took place during April 2001, wherein it carried the Russian procured cryogenic stage.
जी हाँ, आप ये दर्शक दीर्घा का एक विशाल दृश्य अपने टीवी स्क्रीन पर देख पा रहे होंगे। ये चेयरमैन इसरो के श्री राधाकृष्णन जी और दत्तन सर, श्री रामकृष्णन जी जो डॉक्टर शिव कुमार, डॉक्टर किरण कुमार ये और डॉक्टर प्रसाद जी जो विभिन्न केंद्रों के निदेशक हैं। इस समय हम लगभग 28 मिनट की दूरी पर हैं प्रक्षेपण से। आज के प्रक्षेपण यान GSLV के 3 संस्करण हैं, मार्क 1, मार्क 2 और मार्क 3। GSLV मार्क 1 के 3 उप संस्करण थे। पहले उप संस्करण में प्रथम कोर में 125 टन ठोस ईंधन भरा था और ये 1500 किलोग्राम के पैदावार को भूस्थैतिक अंतरण कक्षा में ले जाने में सक्षम था। इसे अब सेवा से हटा लिया गया है। दूसरे उप संस्करण में प्रथम चरण कोर में 125 के बजाय 139 टन ठोस ईंधन भरा था तथा 4 अतिरिक्त तरल ईंधन वाले स्ट्रैप-ऑन मोटर थे। ये 1900 किलोग्राम के पैदावार को भूस्थैतिक अंतरण कक्षा में ले जाने में सक्षम था। तीसरे उप संस्करण में प्रथम चरण कोर में 139 टन ठोस ईंधन भरा तथा 4 अतिरिक्त तरल ईंधन वाले स्ट्रैप-ऑन मोटर एवं 15 टन का तृतीय चरण जोड़ दिया गया, पर इसकी केवल एक उड़ान GSLV F-06 की हुई थी। GSLV मार्क टी संस्करण में रूसी क्रायोजेनिक इंजनों की बजाय स्वदेशी तकनीक से विकसित क्रायोजेनिक लगाए गए हैं। आज का प्रक्षेपण यान GSLV D5 GSLV का मार्क 2 संस्करण है।
Thank you very much, Alok. View of the Mission Control Center. We can see on your screen some of the mission executives who are very closely monitoring the checkout operations. The countdown right now is at minus 26 minutes. We have a lot of operations to be performed as we progress.
CGC2 control event number 480 and 481
launches
confirmed.
standing majestically at the second launch pad.
P2 pulsar on.
Mission Control Center for you. The countdown is minus 26 minutes.
P2 pulsar on.
Now I would request the Doordarshan team to just play the very exciting and interesting moments of the GSLV launch campaign activities, which will involve integration of the various stage elements and the satellite.
जी हाँ, भारत द्वारा विकसित व निर्मित 416 टन भारी प्रक्षेपण यान एवं 1982 केजी भारी GSAT 14 उपग्रह के विभिन्न विषय में संक्षिप्त जानकारी के लिए प्रस्तुत है ये लघु फिल्म, जो आपको विस्तार से बताएगी कि किस तरीके से उपग्रह का निर्माण हुआ। ये आपके समक्ष विभिन्न वैज्ञानिक स्क्रीन पर डिटेल जो आंकड़े हैं उन्हें देख पा रहे हैं, उनका अध्ययन कर पा रहे हैं। उनके अवलोकन के पश्चात विभिन्न निर्णय लिए जाते हैं जो कि एक प्रक्षेपण यान के लिए बेहद अहम भूमिका निभाते हैं।
The countdown is at minus 25 minutes. Video capsule please.
हम लोग 25 मिनट की दूरी पर हैं। हम अपने टीवी टीम से गुजारिश करेंगे कि वो छोटी सी शॉर्ट फिल्म आप लोगों तक पहुंचाएं।
25 minutes and counting.
Control MCC event number 479 completed.
Roger.
ये छोटी फिल्म आपको बताएगी कि किस तरीके से GSAT 14 और GSLV का निर्माण हुआ था।
This is the first stage. The first stage, which is basically the solid stage. The first stage has been flagged off and brought to the second launch pad. As you may be aware, the first stage is the solid stage with 139 tons of propellant, and the fully integrated first stage, S139 stage, is primarily into 5 segments. So first hardware that moves to the launch pad is the core brace route, and after assembling all the 5 segments of the solid motor, the first stage is readied, and you have seen now the vented tender stage and the middle stage, which is already assembled to the first stage of the rocket.
Event number 484.
So प्रथम चरण में लगभग 5 घटक होते हैं। इन्हें अलग अलग बनाने के पश्चात इन्हें संयोजित किया जाता है और ये स्ट्रैप ऑन को साथ में जोड़ने के लिए ऊर्ध्वाधर स्थिति में लाके मुख्य मोटर के साथ जोड़ दिया जाता है।
So after assembling the first stage, you have seen on your screen the liquid strap-ons, which is getting assembled. So there are 4 in numbers, 4 liquid strap-ons assembled to the solid stage S139. This together forms the first stage of the GSLV launcher.
जी हाँ, ये करीब करीब 19.7 मीटर लंबे 4 स्ट्रैप-ऑन्स L40 इंजन के नाम से जाने जाते हैं। विकास 2 इंजन हैं ये, और इन्हें S139 जो सेंट्रल कोर होता है, जो सॉलिड ईंधन, जो ठोस ईंधन भरा होता है जिसमें, उसके साथ इसे संयोजित कर दिया जाता है और इसका व्यास 2.1 मीटर L40 इंजन का और 2.8 मीटर करीब सॉलिड मोटर का होता है।
On your screen is the most important stage for today's mission, the cryogenic stage, which has been indigenously developed by Indian Space Research Organization. This is the view of the indigenous cryogenic stage with the main engine and two steering engines on either side, and the activity that you are seeing on your screen is the gimballing activity of the steering engine, which is primarily performed at the launch complex, at the launch base, as a part of checking out the cryogenic stage. The mission director, Dr. K. Shivan, briefing Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, Chairman ISRO, and the cryogenic stage, after going through all the checkout operations at the technical complex at the launch base, is being transported to the launch pad after the first and second stage of the vehicle have been fully assembled. So a view of the cryogenic stage entering the vehicle assembly building.
सबसे महत्वपूर्ण चरण जो होता है ये GSLV का इस समय वो क्रायोजेनिक स्टेज है। इसी क्रायोजेनिक स्टेज के निर्माण के पश्चात जो आप छोटा नीचे देख पा रहे हैं वहां पे हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन और ऊपर हाइड्रोजन भरी हुई होती है और द्रव के रूप में, और इसे बनाने के पश्चात इसे ट्रांसपोर्ट किया जाता है ताकि इसे प्रथम और द्वितीय चरण के संयोजित हो जाने के बाद जोड़ा जा सके। ये आप देख पा रहे हैं जो हमारे परियोजना निदेशक हैं श्री नागेश्वर राव जी, वो समझा रहे थे कि ये किस तरीके से उपग्रह का निर्माण किया गया। ये सौर पट्टिकाओं को क्लीन रूम में एक बार खोल लिया जाता है यहाँ पे, और उसके बाद इसे वापस संयोजित करने के बाद उपग्रह को पूरी तरह से तैयार हो जाने के बाद उसमें ईंधन भर दिया जाता है और उसके बाद इसे ले जाता है जोड़ने के लिए, संयोजित करने के लिए शील्ड के साथ, पेलोड फेयरिंग के साथ।
Another interesting activity here you will notice is the satellite is getting assembled in the clean room conditions, not on the launcher. And after assembling the satellite on the payload adapter, we have the payload fairing enclosing the satellite in the clean room. And the entire encapsulated assembly is brought from the clean room facility to the launcher, and it is getting mated to the launcher. Wherein in PSLV, you would have noticed the satellite gets assembled to the launcher on the launch pad itself.
जी हाँ, ये बहुत बड़ा अंतर है दोनों PSLV और GSLV के संयोजन में। यहाँ पे GSLV में उपग्रह को पहले अलग से हीट शील्ड के साथ जोड़ दिया जाता है, पेलोड फेयरिंग के साथ जोड़ दिया जाता है, बिल्कुल क्लीन रूम सच कक्ष के वातावरण में, और उसके बाद इसे ट्रांसफर किया जाता है रॉकेट के साथ जोड़ने के लिए। राधाकृष्णन जी, ये खास अंतर जो है ये दोनों यानों के बीच में है।
Actually, it is the difference between the encapsulated assembly, wherein the satellite is getting assembled on the payload adapter, and then the payload fairing is closed in the clean room, and the entire assembly is moved from the clean room to the launch pad, assembled to the launcher. This is one particular concept, the way the hardware has been configured. And as far as the PSLV is concerned, what we primarily do is we carry the satellite from the clean room to the launch pad, assemble on the launcher, and then close the payload fairing.
जी, मेरे ख्याल से ये बहुत ही खड़े होने के बाद मेरे ख्याल से ये एक पूरे का पूरा समूचा व्यू आप देख पा रहे हैं यान का, जहां पे उपग्रह को सबसे ऊपर रखा गया है। सबसे ऊपर क्रायोजेनिक स्टेज काले रंग से देख पा रहे हैं, उसके बाद सबसे नीचे ये चारों स्ट्रैप ऑन मोटर के साथ जुड़ा हुआ यान, प्रक्षेपण यान, बहुत ही गर्वित स्वरूप में आकाश की ओर उड़ने के लिए तैयार।
A very beautiful view of the GSLV D5 launcher on the second launch pad. And just now we heard the announcement, the countdown is at minus 19 minutes 25 seconds. And as we progress further at T-minus 90 minutes onwards, we will have a series of authorizations that will be going on, right from the vehicle director to the mission director. Just a quick update, a view of the countdown now, minus 19 minutes 10 seconds. Just a quick view update on the countdown process. If you look at the total countdown time for GSLV mission, it's a 29 hours countdown, and it began yesterday. And some of the major operations during the countdown process primarily involves electrical checkout and health check operations for the launch vehicle and the satellite, and most importantly during the countdown operations, the propellant filling operations. As you know, we have the solid stage, we have the earth storable liquid stages, and the cryogenic stage. So the solid stage is already filled stage brought to the launch pad. The liquid propellants are primarily the ones which gets filled once the vehicle reaches to the launch pad. So these operations were performed yesterday.
जी हाँ, अब हम प्रक्षेपण से केवल 18 मिनट 24 सेकंड की दूरी पर हैं। T-19 मिनट पर अभियान निदेशक ने प्रक्षेपण की अनुमति दे दी है, और इस तरह से अब आगे की गतिविधियां पूर्व नियोजित रूप से जारी रहेंगी।
Measurement command.
अनुमति की ये घोषणा
So just T-minus 19 minutes, the mission director has authorized the vehicle director.
अनुमति की ये घोषणा यान उपग्रह एवं भू केंद्र की विभिन्न प्रणालियों के पूर्व अवलोकन के पश्चात ही की जाती है, जो अनवरत रूप से उड़ान के विभिन्न आंकड़ों पर लगातार नजर बनाए रखते हैं। इससे ठीक 1 मिनट के बाद लगभग मेरे ख्याल से 5 मिनट लगेगा, T-14 मिनट्स पर यान निदेशक स्वचालित प्रक्षेपण अनुक्रम के आरंभ की घोषणा करेंगे। कुछ ही क्षणों पहले ये सिलसिला आरंभ कर दिया जाने की संभावना है। इस घटनाक्रम के पश्चात यान उपग्रह से जुड़ी हुई सारी गतिविधियों का नियंत्रण प्रक्षेपण यान से जुड़े हुए कंप्यूटर द्वारा किया जाएगा। अब राधाकृष्ण जी, अगर हम अब दर्शकों को बताएं कि किस तरीके से चारों तरफ जो प्रक्षेपण यान है उसके चारों तरफ विंड की स्पीड है, तो थोड़ा सा मौसम की जानकारी ले ली जाए।
I think if you look at any launch vehicle for that matter, the meteorological environment, it plays a very important role. So if you look at the wind conditions, there are primarily 2 parameters that are very important. One is the ground wind. Ground wind is primarily the wind when the launcher is standing in the launch pad, and the wind that blows towards the launcher, making the vehicle drift towards the launcher. So one very important criteria for the launch is the ground wind. That is, what is the kind of permissible wind that is acceptable for the launcher. If you look at GSLV, you can see on your screen the launcher, the standoff distance of the launcher from the umbilical tower is quite far, which primarily means even if the ground wind conditions are little more, the drift of the launcher towards the umbilical tower is going to be very, very minimal, because we find a lot of clearance between the launcher and the umbilical tower. You can see on your screen now. So there is an upper limit at which like 20, 25, 30 meter per second is the ground wind conditions. But primarily before giving clearance to the launcher, the ground winds are measured well in advance, and as we had observed, today's wind measured conditions are roughly in the order of 7 to 8 meters per second.
जी हाँ, इसका मतलब ये कि खासकर अभी जो गति है वो बहुत ही सामान्य है इस समय, और ये कोई खतरा नहीं है हमारे GSLV के प्रक्षेपण के लिए। और ऐसी सामान्य गति, क्योंकि क्लियरेंस काफी है अम्बिलिकल टावर से और इसके बीच में, तो हमें ऐसा कोई खतरा अभी नजर नहीं आ रहा है और बड़ी सामान्य सी गति है। और मेरे ख्याल से तापमान भी बहुत ही सामान्य है। समुद्र के किनारे इस तरह का जो हवा की गति है वो बहुत ही सामान्य महसूस की जाती है। अगर मौसम की बात करें तो पूरी तरह से प्रक्षेपण के अनुकूल प्रतीत हो रहा है। प्रक्षेपण यान उपग्रह एवं भू केंद्र की तैयारियों की समीक्षा के पश्चात प्रक्षेपण प्राधिकरण बोर्ड की अनुमति के साथ ही GSLV D5 को शनिवार 28 दिसंबर की सुबह लॉन्च पैड पर पहुंचा दिया गया था। प्रक्षेपण के लिए 29 घंटे की उल्टी गिनती 4 जनवरी की सुबह 11 बजे आरंभ कर दी गई थी। इसके दौरान यान के विभिन्न चरणों में द्रव ईंधन भरा जाता है, जिसे लगातार अवलोकित कर हर प्राचल की निगरानी बहुत सतर्कता पूर्वक की जाती है। प्रथम चरण में अनसिमेट्रिकल हाइड्रोजन 25% एवं N2O4 भरा जाता है, US-25। तत्पश्चात द्वितीय चरण में US-25 एवं N2O4, उसके बाद अंत में क्रायोजेनिक चरण में द्रव ऑक्सीजन व द्रव हाइड्रोजन भरने के बाद यान का कुल भार 416 टन पहुंच जाता है। अपराह्न 4:18 पर प्रक्षेपण विंडो खुल जाएगी। प्रक्षेपण कुछ ही क्षणों में संभावित है। वैसे प्रमोशन समयांतर काल कुल 2 घंटे 30 मिनट तक खुला रहेगा ये लॉन्च विंडो। राधाकृष्ण जी आगे का हाल बताएंगे। इसके पहले मैं आपको बता दूं तो हम लोग लगभग 14 मिनट की दूरी पर इस समय प्रक्षेपण यान से।
The countdown is at -14 minutes 10 seconds. Just a quick update on the countdown. As I was mentioning at the beginning of the countdown yesterday, the fuel and oxidizer were loaded into the second stage GS2, and once this got completed, the fuel loading in all the 4 liquid strap-on motors were also performed, which eventually was followed with loading of oxidizer in all the 4 liquid strap-on motors. In fact, all this got completed today early, very early morning. And just 4.5 hours from now, the filling of liquid oxygen in the cryogenic state was initiated. And this operation took almost nearly 2 hours, just 2 hours. And 2 hours before, the loading of liquid hydrogen was initiated, and this operation also lasted for nearly 1 hour. And now we have totally 200 tons of earth storable liquid propellants and 12.5 tons of cryogenic loaded into the launcher.
राधाकृष्ण जी, क्रायोजेनिक जो चरण है इसके बारे में कोई डिटेल जानकारी प्राप्त की जा सकती है? कोई
I think if you look at the cryogenic stage is primarily a highly technologically complex propulsion module per se. The main reason being the very low temperature conditions of the liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen.
इसका कोई वीडियो कैप्सूल अगर हम देख सकें तो
I think it will be very interesting that we play a very short video for you, maybe around 5 to 6 minutes, which will primarily show you the technological challenges and the complexities of the cryogenic stage. Here is the video capsule for you.
By the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. GSLV is a 3-stage launch vehicle. The first stage consists of a solid motor with 4 liquid strap-on motors. The second stage is a liquid stage. And the upper stage uses cryogenic propulsion. It is no idle boast to claim that the cryogenic upper stage is a masterpiece in the field of space technology and engineering. The cryogenic upper stage in GSLV consists of 2 separate tanks to carry 12.5 tons of liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. Liquid oxygen, LOX, an oxidizer, is required to be stored at minus 183 degrees Celsius, and liquid hydrogen, LH2, the fuel, at minus 253 degrees Celsius. The major subsystems of the cryogenic engine are the combustion chamber, gas generator, turbopump, and the startup system. In spite of the complexity and challenges, LOX and LH2 are still preferred propellants owing to their efficient performance and ability to produce maximum thrust and energy required to carry heavier payloads to orbit. The efficiency of the propulsion system is measured in terms of specific impulse. The specific impulse is defined as the thrust produced per unit mass flow rate of the propellant. The higher the specific impulse, the greater the energy produced per unit quantity of the propellant. The specific impulse of cryogenic propulsion is superior compared to that of solid propulsion and liquid propulsion. The cryogenic upper stage engine of GSLV is capable of developing a nominal thrust of 7.5 tons in vacuum. Producing cryogenic fluids is an arduous task. Hydrogen is not freely available in required quantities in the atmosphere, and hence has to be produced through complex chemical processes. It is at the Liquid Propulsion System Center, LPSC, that the first steps for producing hydrogen are taken. Once produced, these cryogenic fluids necessarily have to be stored in super-insulated storage tanks in order to minimize boil-off losses. The major challenges encountered are during transportation and servicing of the cryogenic propellants. Hence, the storage tanks, transfer pipelines, and transportation tankers are carefully designed and constructed with appropriate materials. These tanks, tankers, and pipelines have double-walled construction. The annular space between the two walls is evacuated, and the outer layer of the inner wall is applied with multi-layered insulation, making it super-insulated. The complex cryogenic rocket technology demands a high level of skill and ingenuity from the scientists. Very few countries have achieved success in designing operational cryogenic engines. The GSLV has had 7 flights. 6 flights of GSLV developed by ISRO so far have used a Russian cryogenic stage as the upper stage. make India less dependent on foreign launchers, ISRO initiated the indigenous development of cryogenic engine for use in GSLV. The cryogenic upper stage engine is designed, developed and integrated by ISRO's Liquid Propulsion System Center, LPSC, along with the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center and a host of industries from public and private sector. The cryogenic stage is integrated at LPSC's Mahendragiri facilities and transported to the Satish Dhawan Space Center, SDSC, Shar, for integration with the launch vehicle. Shar has all the massive infrastructure facilities required to handle the cryogenic propellants. The spectacular sight of the launch vehicle holds all of us in wonder as it defies the Earth's gravity. With the power and efficiency of the cryogenic propulsion, GSLV is capable of injecting the 5 tons class of satellites into 600 kilometers low Earth orbit, LEO, or the 2-ton class of satellites into geosynchronous transfer orbit, GTO.
Okay, welcome back. So we had a very interesting video of the technological challenges of the indigenous cryogenic stage for you. And as you are seeing the video capsule, the countdown has progressed to minus 6 minutes 36 seconds, and the automatic launch sequence has been initiated at T minus 14 minutes, following by engaging of the automatic launch sequence at T minus 12 minutes. Since then, all the parameters through the automatic launch sequence ALS has been progressing very smoothly. Now we see a lot of greens coming on your screen, and the view of the countdown at 6 minutes 12 seconds.
जी हाँ, हम लोग करीब 6 मिनट दूर पे हैं प्रक्षेपण यान से। अभियान नियंत्रण केंद्र तथा प्रक्षेपण नियंत्रण केंद्र में सभी विशेषज्ञ उड़ान संबंधित विभिन्न प्राचीनों का बड़ी सूक्ष्मता से निरीक्षण करने में व्यस्त हैं। एक दिन पूर्वी उल्टी गिनती के प्रारंभ से लेकर अब तक जाने कितनी ही ऐसी गतिविधियां, कितने ही ऐसे क्रियाकलाप अति सावधानी पूर्वक संपन्न किए गए, जिनकी सफलता ने हमारे वैज्ञानिकों के अथक प्रयासों में नया उत्साह भरा और यान को प्रमोशन के इस मुकाम तक पहुंचा दिया है। आज प्रक्षेपण स्तर पर आसमान बिल्कुल साफ है। हमने प्रक्षेपण मुहिम के साथ ही मध्यम तापक्रम वाली हवाएं चल रही देखी थी, जो समुद्र के किनारे उमस भरे वातावरण में बेहद सुकून पहुंचा रही थी। लगातार मौसम और हवा की गति पर नजर रखी जा रही है और आज जमीन पर हवा की गति भी खासी सामान्य है। लेकिन मेरे ख्याल से राधाकृष्णन जी, हम लोग जमीन से कुछ ऊपर भी अगर हम इसका मापन करते हैं तो इसके बारे में कुछ बताएंगे?
Yes, Alok, thank you very much. As I was mentioning, the meteorological environment, the significance of the meteorological environment for the launch vehicles, there are primarily the two parameters. One is the
5 minutes and counting.
One is the ground wind conditions, which I explained that it's very significant in terms of the liftoff of the launcher from the umbilical tower. Another most important parameter we have is the as the vehicle goes through the atmospheric flight, after it lifts from the launch pad, it has to go through what is called as the upper atmospheric wind. This upper atmospheric wind is the one which primarily decides the aerodynamic loading on the launch vehicle. When you say aerodynamic loading, it's primarily, it comes in the form of a kind of a structural influence on the overall launcher.
अच्छा, इसका मतलब जैसे जैसे हम ऊपर जाते हैं, अगर वहां पे हम इसे ध्यान न रखें तो घर्षण के कारण ये परेशानी हमें आ सकती है।
Yes, absolute right. So the upper atmospheric wind, what we primarily do is to have a better control and the control on the winds that the vehicle is going to experience. We measure these winds at a very regular intervals, what is called as the by sounding the balloons at regular intervals. And the wind which is measured at as close to launch as possible, almost I would say roughly around 1 hour 30 minutes before the launch, which is what is the one which is used for designing the steering program. So biasing the steering program as close to the launch as possible ensures that the minimum aerodynamic load during the atmospheric phase ascent is ensured. And this particular technique is called as the day of launch wind biasing, which has been very successfully used in the past several launches from SHAR to reduce the aerodynamic loads on the launch.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद राधाकृष्णन जी। लेकिन इस समय में हम लोग लगभग 3 मिनट 28 सेकंड की दूरी पे हैं। प्रक्षेपण के 4.8 सेकंड पूर्व ही चारों स्ट्रैप-ऑन प्रज्वलित हो जाएंगे। तत्पश्चात मुख्य कोर मोटर S139 प्रज्वलन के साथ ही हो जाएगा लिफ्ट ऑफ। लगभग 148.9 सेकंड के बाद यानी तकरीबन 70.52 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई पर 2.4 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड के वेग से प्राप्त स्ट्रैप ऑन का प्रज्वलन बंद हो जाएगा। प्रथम चरण GS1 यान को 58 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई प्रदान कर 2.4 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड का वेग देते हुए 151.1 सेकंड के बाद पृथक हो जाएगा। द्वितीय चरण प्रज्वलन के पश्चात 115 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई पर पेलोड फेयरिंग ऊष्मा कवच के रूप में जिसका प्रयोग होता है, पृथक्करण के वक्त वेग का मान 3.39 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड होता है तथा यह चरण यान को 132.8 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई तक ले जाता है। GS2 पृथक्करण के समय जड़त्वीय वेग 5.39 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड तक पहुंच जाता है। इसका कुल ज्वलन काल लगभग 139.52 सेकंड है। तृतीय व अंतिम चरण सबसे महत्वपूर्ण प्रमोचन के 253.52 सेकंड के बाद प्रज्वलित होता है और 719.2 सेकंड के प्रज्वलन के पश्चात 204 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई पर पहुंचकर 9.78 से लगभग 10.24 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड का जड़त्वीय वेग देता है।
So we are at minus 2 minutes for the launch, and I can see on the screen, and the automatic launch sequence is very meticulously checking out all the health parameters, including the most complex cryogenic stage. As you may be aware, at the cryogenic stage, there are a lot of preparatory actions that goes through before the vehicle lifts off in terms of the, preparing the stage, the service lines for the cryogenic stage by pressurizing and chilling the lines and making it flight worthy just prior to the takeoff. So I see on my screen all the automatic launch sequence parameters are checked out very meticulously, and the countdown is at minus 1 minute 20 seconds. Just a quick update for the viewers: the liftoff sequence, unlike the PSLV, is a little complex sequence because the first stage involves 4 liquid strap-ons and the solid stage. So if you look at the liftoff sequence, we will have to start with, now the countdown is minus 1 minute. To start with, launch minus 4.8 seconds. The command for ignition of all 4 liquid strap-ons will be issued.
Minus 50 seconds.
And this is now the countdown is at
minus 45 seconds.
Minus 45 seconds.
L40 accumulator charge.
So we will have ignition of the 4 liquid strap-ons at minus 4.8 seconds. And after confirming the performance of the all 4 liquid strap-ons, the command for ignition of the S139 solid motor will be issued at T0.
Seconds.
So roughly the liquid strap-ons will be burning on the ground for almost 4.8 seconds.
25 seconds.
The countdown is at minus 25 seconds.
Minus 20 seconds.
Minus 20 seconds.
अब हम लोग केवल 20 सेकंड की दूरी पर प्रज्वलन के
15 seconds.
A close look at the L40 strap-on, the base route. Minus 9.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
L40 is ignited.
2, 1, 0. Plus 1.
Vehicle lifts
plus
off.
2, plus
Vehicle
3,
lifts off.
plus 4, plus 5, plus 6,
चारों स्ट्रैप ऑन के
plus
प्रज्वलन
7,
के पश्चात
plus 8,
सेंट्रल कोर जो
plus
थी
9,
सॉलिड इंजन
plus 10
वो
seconds.
भी
P1 tracking.
इग्नाइट कर दिया गया है और ये प्रक्षेपण यान
Can see
सीधा आकाश की ओर अपने अनुमानित पथ पर
You can see the majestic liftoff of GSLV after confirming the L40 performance. S139 has been ignited. The vehicle going majestically through the atmosphere.
बिल्कुल क्लियर, बिल्कुल साफ आकाश का व्यू GSLV को दिखाता हुआ आप
plus
तक
30 seconds.
आकाश में उसकी धुएं की लकीर बिल्कुल साफ साफ हम तक कानों की आवाज आती हुई और ये लिख रहा है क्रायोजेनिक स्टेज के सफलतम परीक्षण का, प्रक्षेपण का एक ऐसा अध्याय जो हमारे लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण साबित होने वाला है। एक ऐसा व्यू, ऐसा दृश्य जो लगातार हमें याद दिलाता रहेगा हमारे लगातार परिश्रम को, हमारे वैज्ञानिकों के अथम परिश्रम को।
So we just now heard the announcement, first stage performance normal. As you may be aware, the solid motor S139, it burns for almost 105 seconds, whereas the 4 liquid strap-ons continue to burn for almost 148 seconds. So we see a plot of the ground trace from the Sriharikota range, and the plot on my screen shows a very clear close match of the pre-flight numbers in terms of altitude and velocity, very closely matching with the flight performance.
So ground trace को अगर आप देख पा रहे हैं अपने स्क्रीन पे बिल्कुल फॉलो करता हुआ हम लगभग 100 सेकंड के अंतर पे पहुंचने वाले हैं, बहुत ही अनुमानित पथ पर अग्रसर होता हुआ.
S139 burnout.
So just now we heard the announcement of S139 has been burnt out. But for the benefit of the viewers, even though the solid motor burns out, it doesn't get separated. It gets separated along with the 4 liquid strap-ons. So the burned out S139 stage will be carried further along with the L40 strap-ons as it continues to burn up to 150 seconds. The time is now 126 seconds. At 1.9 is the velocity. The vehicle has almost reached 57 kilometers. So the very critical atmospheric phase of flight has been crossed. And we just await the announcement for the separation of the first stage, which will happen around 150 seconds. Now we are at 145 seconds.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल ही हम सबसे महत्वपूर्ण क्षण की प्रतीक्षा में हैं जब जब प्रथम चरण को अलग विलगित कर दिया गया है और द्वितीय चरण जो है वो प्रज्वलित हो चुका है. और इस तरीके से जो S139 स्टेज अपने L40 उसको देख पा रहे होंगे आप, उसको अलग होने के साथ ही हम लगभग 165 सेकंड का समय व्यतीत कर चुके हैं और हमारी जो वेग है उस समय 2.5 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड की हम 86 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई पर पहुंच चुके हैं.
So first stage has been separated and the second stage has been ignited, and we heard the announcement, the second stage performance normal. The time is 180 seconds, and although the vehicle has attained the velocity of 2.7 kilometers and the range of around 215 kilometers, the vehicle is nearly at an altitude of around 99 kilometers.
द्वितीय चरण जो है वो भी बहुत ही सामान्य रूप से अपना अपेक्षित जो परफॉर्मेंस है, निष्पादन है, उसको दे पा रहा है. बहुत ही एक्सीलेंट परफॉर्मेंस. हम इस समय पेलोड फेयरिंग जो हीट शील्ड है उसके सेपरेशन की प्रतीक्षा में है, जो बहुत ही कम समय में लगभग 226 सेकंड के बाद हमारे सामने आने वाली है. इस समय लगभग 215 सेकंड का समय व्यतीत हो चुका है. इस समय हम 3.2 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड का वेग प्राप्त कर चुके हैं, 312 किलोमीटर पर आस पर हैं.
224 seconds. Anytime we can have the separation of the payload fairing. Just now we heard the announcement, payload fairing separated, 115 kilometers.
जी हाँ, रेंज ऑपरेशन डायरेक्टर श्री पनीर सेल्वन जी से अभी आपने अनाउंसमेंट सुना होगा जो हमारे आवाज के साए में गुजरता हुआ कि पेलोड फेयरिंग जो है वो सेपरेट हो चुकी है.
So view of the mission control center, and the vehicle now 247 seconds, almost 121 kilometers, and the plot of the altitude and the plot which is there below is the one showing the altitude. The red one is the pre-flight number, and on that you can see how the vehicle is exactly flying over the altitude and the velocity also on your screen. Now one more important thing is the major event that is going to happen after this, after payload fairing separation, is the second stage separation, followed by the cryogenic ignition being commanded and the ignition confirmation, which we expect should happen roughly around 293 seconds. Right now we are at 283.
Request all concerned to stand by for ROD's announcements without clapping, please.
Very close to the second stage burnout and separation.
Second stage separated.
Second stage has been separated.
द्वितीय चरण भी विलगित हो चुका है और ये अनाउंसमेंट आपने इसकी उद्घोषणा सुनी होगी और इस तरीके से हम बहुत नजदीक हैं इस समय एक क्षण के जो है क्रायोजेनिक इग्निशन का.
Ignition sustained is one of the very important announcement. We just now heard after commanding the cryo stage, the vehicle started igniting, and the vehicle acceleration has been picking up, and the vehicle is going through its altitude profile and the velocity profile as planned.
जी हाँ, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण चरण होता है. ये चरण सारी धड़कनों को रोक देने वाला था और ये समय तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट आप तक पहुंच पा रही होगी क्योंकि ये जो प्रज्वलन था ये सस्टेन है और इस समय हम तृतीय चरण जो क्रायोजेनिक चरण है ये इसके बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण सफल होने की कामना करते हुए आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. आप देख पा रहे होंगे कि अनुमानित जो पाथ है, अनुमानित पथ है और अवलोकित पथ है वो बिल्कुल एक दूसरे को फॉलो करता हुआ आगे बढ़ता जा रहा है.
This is what we have been expecting for the cryogenic engine ignition confirmation, and we heard the announcement. The performance of the cryogenic engine is within the performance limits. The vehicle is accelerating as planned, exactly as planned.
सारे मान जो हम अपेक्षित सीमाओं के अंदर चलते हुए और हम लगभग 400 किलोमीटर की दूरी तय कर चुके हैं. इस समय जो रेंज है वो करीब करीब सारी 1050 किलोमीटर हो चुकी है और 5.2 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड का वेग प्राप्त करते हुए लगभग 390 सेकंड का समय व्यतीत कर चुके हैं.
So we are almost 400 seconds into the flight and maybe almost 100 seconds into the cryogenic stage of flight. So presently the cryogenic stage is going in the uprated mode of thrust, almost touching a thrust of around 8.2 tons. And if you look at the velocity and the altitude plots on our screen, it's a very close match with the pre-flight numbers. And the cryogenic stage will be going in this uprated mode for maybe another 400 seconds.
Plus 7 minutes.
Plus 7 minutes into the flight, 420 seconds, and altitude 136. And we repeatedly hear the announcement that cryogenic stage performance is normal.
इस जो चरण है, ये क्रायोजेनिक या तृतीय चरण जो है, इसका परफॉर्मेंस, इसका निष्पादन बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण होता है क्योंकि इसमें जो दोनों ईंधन हैं, द्रव ऑक्सीजन और द्रव हाइड्रोजन, इनका जो इग्निशन है, इनका जो प्रज्वलन है और इसके साथ ही इनका जो परफॉर्मेंस है, उसकी अपेक्षा बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण होती है क्योंकि ये 5.2 से लगभग 10.2 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई, 2.2 किलोमीटर का वेग प्रदान कर पाता है. और ये संभव हो पाता है क्योंकि इसका जो विशिष्ट आवेग है, इंपल्स है, वो बहुत ज्यादा है, लगभग 1.5 गुना है. मेरे ख्याल से इसी पे हम बात करेंगे अपने साथी राधाकृष्णन जी के साथ, जो लगातार कई वर्षों से जीएसएलवी से साथ जुड़े रहे हैं. राधाकृष्णन जी, क्यों ये इतना महत्वपूर्ण है क्रायोजेनिक स्टेज?
Actually, if you look at the cryogenic stage, unlike the earth-storable propellants, where the complexity of the cryogenic stage primarily comes because of the low temperature conditions of this liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. So if you look at it, the liquid oxygen temperature, we are also almost talking about at minus 183 degrees centigrade, whereas the liquid hydrogen handling at almost 253 centigrade.
तो इसका मतलब है ये कि हम इनको स्टोर करना, इनका भंडारण या इनका ऑपरेशन दोनों बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हो जाते हैं.
Extremely critical, extremely critical. So you can see very happy faces in the mission control center. The mission director is extremely happy. The performance of the vehicle has been exactly as predicted. And the vehicle is still in the uprated mode. The thrust is in the uprated mode. So almost 400 seconds into the cryogenic stage burning, after we will find a kind of a support orbit conditions being reached in terms of almost 7 kilometer plus velocity, where we'll see on our screen a little bit of perigee-apogee conditions being appearing on the screen, and the thrust will be throttled down from 9.5% to the nominal thrust. Subsequently, it will burn for almost 300 seconds later.
Okay,
so the time is now 5:45 seconds, and almost we are touching 6 kilometer velocity, and the vehicle is at an altitude of 132 kilometers.
तो अभी हमें करीब 550 सेकंड समय बीतित होने के बाद लगभग, अगर मैं सही हूं तो लगभग 1030 सेकंड, 1027.86 सेकंड तक समय व्यतीत करना होगा जब GSAT-14 जो है उसका सेपरेशन होगा, उसका अलगाव होगा प्रक्षेपण यान के समय, और हमें जो वेलोसिटी है वो 6 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड की बजाय लगभग 10.229 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड की प्राप्त करनी होगी. तो ये संभव हो पाता है केवल इसी तरह के चरण से जहां पे क्रायोजेनिक स्टेज का इंक्लूजन किया जाता है किसी भी प्रक्षेपण यान में. और मेरे ख्याल से ये बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है कि हम अपने कार्यक्रम में क्रायोजेनिक स्टेज का समावेश कर सकें.
Absolute right. Yeah, Lok, you are very correct. You know, the very fact that everybody was very closely following the cryogenic stage success in this mission. As you may know, when you talk about the earth-storable propellant, the specific impulse is roughly around 295 to 300 seconds. But when you use the cryogenic stage, which has a specific impulse of almost 452 seconds, what we find is for every 1 second increase in ISP, specific impulse, there is something like a payload gain of almost 10 kg into the overall performance of the vehicle, which primarily speaks of the kind of efficiency the particular cryogenic stage has, and which is in the long term is going to help ISRO in even launching much heavier satellites when it gets into a next version of the launcher like GSLV Mark 3.
जी. तो लेकिन अच्छा राधाकृष्णन जी, एक और महत्वपूर्ण सवाल जो काफी दर्शक पूछते रहते हैं, कई बार ये सवाल आया है कि ये जो दो महत्वपूर्ण जो ईंधन है, द्रव ऑक्सीजन और द्रव नाइट्रोजन, ये क्या एक दूसरे के संपर्क में आने के बाद स्वतः ही प्रज्वलित नहीं हो पाते?
नहीं हो पाते. Actually, if you look at it, the earth-storable propellant, when you have the oxidizer and the fuel coming into contact, moment it comes into contact, the ignition happens, what is called as the hypergolic propellant. Whereas when you talk about the cryogenic propellant, the liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen, even if they come in contact, for it to ignite, we need to have a kind of ignition ignition, some pyro ignition is required for it to initiate the ignition process and the combustion process for the engine to thrust and progress further.
जी हाँ, तो इस समय हम लोग बात कर रहे थे क्रायोजेनिक अपर स्टेज की। ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। इसमें जो द्रव ईंधन का प्रयोग किया जाता है वो लगभग -253 और -183 डिग्री सेल्सियस के तापक्रम पर हमें इन्हें इकट्ठा करना पड़ता है, भंडारण करना पड़ता है, जहाँ पे मल्टी लेयर इंसुलेशन ब्लैंकेट जो होते हैं बहुस्तरीय प्रतिरोधी स्तर की जो इंसुलेशन होता है उसको यूज करना पड़ता है, वैक्यूम का यूज करना पड़ता है। ऐसी तकनीक में जो इनका प्रवाह है वो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है। जो तकनीकी है, जो पदार्थ हैं, उनके गुण हैं, वो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हो जाते हैं।
Okay, just now we heard the announcement after the operating at almost 400 seconds into the cryogenic stage of flight, the thrust has been rated back to its nominal thrust of 7.5 tons. Now this operating of the thrust is primarily done to see that we derive the maximum performance from the launcher. So as you see the ignition sequence of cryogenic stage, vehicle is accelerating as nominal. So after the ignition of the cryogenic stage, it reaches a nominal thrust of almost 7.5 tons. So almost after 20 seconds later, we augment the thrust to something like 9.5 tons, 8 tons later. And it burns in the operated stage thrust mode for almost 400 seconds, and then it is brought down to a nominal thrust of 7.5, where it will burn for another 320 seconds more.
जी हाँ, तो मैं दर्शकों को ये बताना चाहूंगा कि 7.5 टन जो थ्रस्ट होता है, जो प्रणोद होता है, वो शुरुआती 20 सेकंड में रहने के बाद उसे लगभग 9.5% की वृद्धि करके 8.2 टन तक बढ़ा दिया जाता है और लगभग 400 सेकंड तक इसी दौरान इसी प्रणोद के साथ जलते हुए फिर इसे वापस 7.5 टन तक ले जाया जाता है और इस प्रणोद के साथ वो लगभग 320 सेकंड जलता है और तब जाके प्राप्त होता है ऐसा अपेक्षित परफॉर्मेंस, अपेक्षित निष्पादन। इस समय हम लगभग 804 सेकंड का समय व्यतीत करते हुए 7.7 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड का वेग प्राप्त कर चुके हैं। परास लगभग 3700 किलोमीटर होता हुआ हम 143 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई प्राप्त कर चुके हैं।
So time is now 820 seconds. The vehicle is almost 7.8. It has reached almost the orbital velocity for a support orbit of some meaningful perigee and apogee. It has crossed almost 3,800 kilometers in terms of range from the launch base, and the vehicle is at an altitude of 145 kilometers. As you can see, as you can see in your plot, the altitude profile is now slowly increasing. After it has touched almost 140-45, the altitude will keep climbing, and until the separation you will have roughly around 202 kilometers kind of altitude that will be attained at the time the satellite is going to be separated. So we are at 145 kilometers now. Velocity is almost 8.1. We expect roughly around roughly around 1,000 seconds the cryogenic stage to shut off. So we are nearly almost 870.
जी हाँ, तो इसके लिए मैं इसके लिए बताना चाहूंगा दर्शकों की कि इसमें जो 1982 केजी भारी GSAT-14 उपग्रह है, उसका जो ड्राई मास है, शुष्क भार है, वो करीब 851 किलोग्राम है। उसमें I2K स्पेसक्राफ्ट बस पर आधारित इस उपग्रह में अनेक प्रधायबारों को स्थान दिया गया है। 6 विस्तारित C बैंड हैं तथा 6 UK बैंड ट्रांसपॉन्डर लगाए गए हैं। इसके साथ ही 2 का बैंड बीकन्स हैं, थर्मल कंट्रोल कोटिंग एक्सपेरिमेंट है, फाइबर ऑप्टिक गायरो है, एक्टिव पिक्सल सेंसर पर आधारित डिजिटल सन सेंसर है, FPGA पर आधारित अर्थ सेंसर है एंड एरोथर्मल फ्लक्स सेंसर जैसे अनेक उपकरण लगाए गए हैं। कुल ऊर्जा उत्पादन क्षमता लगभग 2600 वाट होगी इस उपग्रह की। इस उपग्रह को 180 बाई 36,000 किलोमीटर की दीर्घवृत्तीय कक्षा जो विषुवत रेखा से लगभग 19.32 डिग्री पर झुकी हुई होगी में प्रक्षेपित किया जाना है, जिसके बाद इसे 36,000 किलोमीटर की वृत्तीय कक्षा में 74 डिग्री पूर्व देशांश पर निर्धारित कर दिया जाएगा। इस समय हम लगभग 935 सेकंड का समय व्यतीत कर चुके हैं, लगभग 8.9 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड का वेग प्राप्त कर चुके हैं। अपेक्षित मान बहुत ही सफलतम निष्पादन की गारंटी है। इस समय परास जो है वो 4,790 किलोमीटर हो चुका है और 175 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई पहुंच चुकी है और हमें उम्मीद है जो अगला क्षण जो महत्वपूर्ण है वो है क्रायोजेनिक अपर स्टेज के शटऑफ को जो 10:12.86 सेकंड में आने वाला है।
So that the time is now 963 seconds and we are seeing on our screen the vehicle has almost reached a perigee of 162 kilometers with an apogee of 18,000 now to be very precise. 165 by 19,000, and it has almost reached a precise inclination of 19.3. As you may be aware, this particular mission was the planar mission without any yaw maneuver. It's for a particular launch azimuth, it's going to attain an inclination of 19.3 degrees. So continuously the apogee is increasing now. We are just coming very close, almost 20 seconds close to the shutoff. So I can see on my screen we have reached almost 175 km perigee and just touching 30,000 km apogee.
तो हम लोग बहुत ही करीब हैं, करीब 1008 सेकंड समय हो चुका है, 1012 पे
Cryogenic shut-off command is issued and 180 by 36,000 km, exactly as predicted.
बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण क्षण, क्रायोजेनिक अपर स्टेज को बंद कर दिया गया है. हम लोग 10-24 सेकंड
Satellite has been separated.
सैटेलाइट को, उपग्रह को भी अलग कर दिया गया है, सफलतापूर्वक पृथक कर दिया गया है और इस समय सारे वैज्ञानिक एक दूसरे से अपनी खुशियां बांटते हुए ये दृश्य आप अपनी स्क्रीन पर देख पा रहे होंगे. बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण हमारे देश के लिए ये क्षण, क्रायोजेनिक अपर स्टेज का इस तरह से जुड़ाव.
And the orbit that I am seeing on my screen is 180 by 36,000 km with 19.3 very precisely as planned. And this event, I would like to mention to the viewers, is a very landmark achievement for the country, making India self-reliant in this complex full feeling of success and very proud moments for the entire ISRO community. Myself, Radhakrishnan, and my colleague, Mr. Alok, we are signing off. We wait for the
14 both panels deployed.
For Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, Chairman ISRO, very shortly addressing the.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. इस सारे प्रसारण तक आप हमारे साथ जुड़े रहे. हम अपने साथी राधाकृष्णन जी के साथ इस समय आपको वापस MCC लिए चलते हैं, जहां पे जो चेयरमैन है वो आपको संबोधित करेंगे और सीधे हम आपको इसी क्षण के सेलिब्रेशन के लिए, इसी उत्साह के लिए हम आपसे सीधे चाहते हैं MCC के उस स्थान पे जहां से चेयरमैन आपको एड्रेस करेंगे. नमस्ते.
The Indian cryogenic engine and stage performs as predicted, as expected for this mission, and injected precisely the GSAT-14 communication satellite into the intended orbit. This was another major achievement for the GSLV program, and I would say this is an important day for science and technology in the country, for space technology in the country. 20 years of effort in realizing the cryogenic engine and stage has now been fructified. Toiling of 20 years, excruciating effort of the last 3.5 years after we had the first test flight of this cryogenic engine and stage, and all the efforts put by the team ISRO over the last few years in understanding GSLV to make it a reliable vehicle, to understand the cryogenic engine and technology, to master it and bring it to this level, and also to restore the vehicle after that leak that made us to call off the launch at the last minute. And this shows the maturity of the team and the leadership given to the team over decades. I salute all of them, especially Professor Yuva Rao, who had the grit to decide in the year 1992 that we are going to have the indigenous development of the cryogenic engine and stage for the GSLV program, and his illustrious successors. All the directors of the launch vehicle centers, especially the Liquid Propulsion System Center, that developed this cryogenic engine and stage, and the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center that has the responsibility for realizing a reliable GSLV vehicle. And today, the team ISRO, the project directors, all have put their heart and soul in making this proud moment for the country. And we feel we have repaid all our debts to this country. I would request Mr. Ramakrishnan, Director of the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, and the former Director of Liquid Propulsion System Center who took charge of that responsibility after the unsuccessful first flight test of the cryogenic engine and stage, to say a few words and put the things in perspective.
Friends, it's indeed a memorable day for entire ISRO community and more so for the launch vehicle community. It has been really a great challenge to realize this indigenous cryo stage, to master this technology. It has been hard work, and of course we had the first attempt in GSLV D3 where we almost made it, but then the starting process could not proceed beyond ignition, and definitely it was a big challenge to understand what really went wrong. And we had the benefit of the knowledge as well as the counsel of the whole of ISRO team, as well as our seniors, elders and veterans. Everybody put their heads together, and also it required tremendous amount of work in terms of not only doing the analysis, but also in deciding on what should be the kind of tests what we should do to make sure that the next attempt will be successful. Every person who was involved in this task rose to the occasion. Everyone put their heart and soul, and the result is what we see today. In fact, what happened a few months back, we almost went to the launch pad about to launch, but then due to some other reason, we had to scrub the flight. But in a very short time, stupendous effort was put in by the teams involved, the project, and also the launch vehicle teams, both LPSC, VSSC, ISU, and Sriharikota, to realize this vehicle in the shortest possible time. And today, we indeed are extremely happy to see this success. This definitely gives us confidence that no technology is, we will be able to, any technology will be able to master with the kind of effort, with the kind of dedication, and with the kind of teamwork and commitment what we have. I compliment the entire team. I feel extremely happy and proud to be part of this team. Thank you.
Over the last 3 years, the trio who are behind me have provided all the leadership in the centers. Mr. Shivan, the project director of GSLV, and the mission director will tell us what was that precision with which the GSAT-14 was injected into the orbit.
Respected Chairman ISRO, Center Directors, Senior Dignitaries, Chairman MRR, Chairman FRRLB, and the entire ISRO team, and the whole Indian nation. It's a memorable day for us. Sir, what I could say is, you have given wings to the GSLV with indigenous cryo. I could say that the wonderful 1,000 seconds of GSLV flight we just had is a fruit of 1,000 days of hard, dedicated works of the LPSC team, VSSC team, SDSC team, as well as the entire ISRO team. Even they have sacrificed their personal interest for some time to achieve this spectacular success. So we used to call this GSLV as a naughty boy of ISRO. The naughty boy has become obedient, today he has meticulously done the job of injecting the satellite for precisely the precision with which the vehicles operate. Let me tell, it is like in the perigee, we are able to get something like 179 kilometers, and within 40 meters we are able to get. And in the apogee, we are targeting for 36,000 kilometer orbit. We could get within 50 kilometers. This is the precision with which the satellite, GSLV has injected the satellite to the orbit. So for last 1 decade, we are waiting for to get this type of performance from Indian soil. Sir, I would say that this historic launch establishes that our beloved chairman, Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, under his leadership, ISRO could demonstrate the indigenous GSLV with engineering cryo, which has the capability of injecting 2-ton plus satellite in the orbit. On behalf of the entire GSLV team spread across the ISRO centers, let me congratulate and compliment each one of you for the wonderful job you have done. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Narayanan represents that young team who made this cryogenic engine and stage.
Thank you, sir. Today, we have made history by successfully launching the total indigenous GSLV vehicle with the Indian cryogenic stage. With this, we have mastered the very complex and high-performance cryogenic propulsion technology using liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen with a temperature of -253 degrees centigrade and -183 degrees centigrade. This greatest achievement is because of the dedicated and concentrated team effort of the entire team ISRO under the noble leadership of our beloved chairman, Dr. K. Radhakrishnan. I salute the entire ISRO team, the former project directors, former directors, and all my colleagues who made this dream a reality today. And coming to the performance of the cryogenic engine and stage, I will make 1 or 2 points. The main turbopump speed, our prediction was 40,000 RPM. We have got 39,800 RPM, which is only 0.5% difference. Booster turbopump speed, our prediction is 34,500 RPM. We have got 34,553 RPM. That is the performance. And on this occasion, not only the ISRO, the entire Indians can be proud of due to the capability of ISRO. I once again congratulate and salute the entire ISRO team. Thank you very much.
Mr. Vishnu Karta ensured that the engine and stage,
which was one of the critical items, and our fuel booster turbopump qualification, which is one of the culprit for the last flight which we assume, and for other indigenous items like level sensors, etc. People have toiled their life. My special thanks to the teams, FRR team, MRR, and all other review teams and experts and special teams for their contribution and guidance for making this a grand success. Finally, let me salute the SDSC SHAR team for their professional support and giving this launch a grand success. The credit goes to SDSC SHAR. Let me thank once again all my colleagues, all my gurus, all. Let me thank once again. Thank you.
Mr. Dattan, Director of the Liquid Propulsion System Center.
Thank you, Chairman. Today I am proud of being an Indian, an ISRO engineer, and overall a member of the LPSC team, the team who made this indigenous cryo stage given a birth, and it has performed perfectly well and has become the successful day today. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate the services, committed work rendered by the whole ISRO team, especially the LPSC team, who during the last 2 to 3 years' time enormous amount of testing and retesting has been done to qualify and deliver the quality products and bring up the reliability of the vehicle, the indigenous cryo stage, to such a level so that we could enjoy the success today. In fact, the failures were very painful. But we have derived extra energy from the pain and rebounded to get to this success by doing enormous amount of work. And the review teams were very tough and their recommendations were large in number. But the LPSC team, with the support of all other centers, we could meticulously complete all the tests. And finally, today we have attained a stage that whatever possible humanly we have completed. So we are very sure about the success of this particular D5 flight. Many people have supported us within ISRO and outside ISRO, including industries, academic institutions, media, so many. And many have given us very valuable guidance, advices, and appreciation and positive criticism. We take this opportunity to acknowledge everything and being very, very thankful to everybody. And all those people who have contributed in ISRO, in all centers, deserve special appreciation on this particular occasion. Thank you all, and thank you, Chairman.
We have Dr. M.Y.S. Prasad, Director of Sriharikota Spaceport and the Chairman of the Launch Authorization Board.
Thank you, Chairman. It is an excellent mission, and I congratulate all the teams who made it possible, especially the cryogenic engine and stage team who made one qualitative jump in ISRO today with the acquisition and perfection of the cryogenic technology. And now I congratulate also ISAC and the MCF, which is going to take over the satellite and operate with 12 transponders, which are very essential for us. And at SHAR, I think the whole year, last year, January onwards, we were working on this mission, and we had very, very exciting time when we had to refurbish the vehicle from August onwards. But I think the whole ISRO, all centers, all the teams have come back within 4.5 months with an excellent vehicle whose result today you have seen. I think this is a proof that we have matured technology, we have matured engineers.
And seeing that GSLV is on the path to become a reliable vehicle like its elder sister PSLV. Thank you for both of you and the entire team on behalf of ISRO. I would now request the director of ISRO Satellite Center that made GSAT 14 communication satellites, and the job for that team starts now.
Good evening to all of you. It's really wonderful day for us in terms of getting the launch vehicle through and the satellite getting injected exactly into the orbit that we wanted. So there's no question of anything else happening. We'll certainly do the required operations, and everything is really looking good. I want to just congratulate and compliment the entire launch vehicle team for having given such a wonderful launch, and we'll do the rest of it as required from us, from MCF Hassan, along with my ISAC team. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Dr. Nagesh Rao is the project director for the GSAT 14 communication satellite, and you saw him a few months ago here as the navigation satellite project director. Please.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. I congratulate the entire launch vehicle team who has toiled for the last 3 years and gave the new year gift for the country. Definitely, country I don't think expect anything better than this from the scientists and technicians. In the first week of this new year, we have given a gift. So I thank and congratulate all the team. And the precisely injected, you have seen the parameters, GSAT 14 into the orbit. GSAT 14 is doing well into the orbit. Already solar panels are deployed and systems are working. And I definitely, now we are looking for this development from the GSLV team. So when, as an IJACN and the GeoSat program office person, we are looking, lot of satellites are lined up for this. We are waiting for today's moment. And with the active support and operational team support from the SHAR, and last 6 months, what I am saying, we as a team, we have done a wonderful job. I want to again congratulate the Cryo team, and I think frequently will be coming, and we are going to, whatever the shortage we are seeing in the transponders, quickly we are going to replenish with the successful of this GSLV mission. Thank you.
I request Mr. Kiran Kumar, Director of Space Application Center, Vice Chairman of ISRO Council, and the Chairman of the Spacecraft Authorization Board to tell what he is going to do with it.
Today it's a great day for us, so primarily because the cryo engine, the indigenous cryo engine development has seen a successful flight, and this is indeed a great day. And to this, I congratulate and then say once again, a great achievement by all the people who have put in a lot of blood and sweat in realizing this. When on August 19th, when we had to abort this launch, and within a period of about 4 months, achieving this success, that too after making 2 fresh segments of the first stage and the second stage, is indeed a testimony to the hard work and the sincerity with which the ISRO team works, and this gives a tremendous boost for all our future programs, because this cryo engine development is one of the hurdles in our successful path for the future. This satellite, now that the satellite has been put into nominally correct orbit, over the next few days the satellite will be put into the geostationary orbit, and we have about 12 transponders on this, 6 extended C and then the Ku band, and this will provide us augmentation of the current services. And in future, like Nageshwara pointed out, we have a series of transponders to be put into the orbit. Once again, I take this opportunity to sincerely thank and appreciate all the efforts put by the entire ISRO team and the manner in which they have come out of the failure and shown to the world that we can succeed. Thank you.
Behind us in this mission control center and behind the entire ISRO team, we have several of our former directors who have not only been guiding this program over the last 20 years, but also sitting with us to review meticulously the entire preparation. I salute all of them, and I would now request Dr. Muthnayagam, who has been the Chief of Propulsion System in ISRO for almost 3 decades and who initiated, along with Professor U.R. Rao, this cryogenic engine and stage development. He is with us today.
Chairman ISRO and my former colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I joined the whole team in congratulating the cryogenic team for their excellent work done, the GSLV project for putting everything together and making the country proud of them, and the leadership of ISRO for continuing this effort and this development and supporting it for nearly 2 decades. Somebody will be wondering why a program should take such a long time. As you know, there are several technical and managerial and non-technical issues. Starting with the denial of the technology to us and the need for us to reorient our program and have indigenous development in every aspect of it. Though this did take quite a bit of time and efforts, and all my colleagues and former colleagues and the present ISRO cryogenic team people put their team efforts and worked very hard. I was very happy to be associated with it in the very beginning and also watch this from a distance, and I'm very proud to be one among them in those days. And I again thank the chairman for giving me this opportunity to be with you, to witness this launch and share my joy with you. Thank you.
We have Professor Yashpal, one of the founding fathers of ISRO, and always he comes and encourages the entire team. I would request him to say a few words.
One of the great fortunes I had was to be amongst you and your predecessors most of my life. I always say many times that if you want to get any place, you have to go beyond mere competence. You go much beyond mere competence. And there are not many other groups of people who do. I would suggest to the government and suggest to India, if you want to go somewhere, look towards ISRO. And look towards ISRO's chairman. Even if you turn away from the microphone. There have been many problems, many times. People think we are not Aam Aadmi enough. I think there is something of Aam Aadmi which is very much down in ISRO, right from the beginning. Actually, it is people in ISRO at the beginning who in early days walked the villages and got cow in their feet while doing technology. It is people in ISRO who think of producing an education satellite, who think of always going on filling up our sky with transponders more and more. So a whole lot of things which people think common people ought to be able to do, even Aam Aadmi should be able to do, are become possible because of what ISRO does. There's a combination of sophisticated, which is like Aam Aadmi, a combination of that and combination of really deep sophistication. What you have done, for example, in regard to this minor problem I call for you, of the cryogenic engine. Everybody in the country has been talking. The marvelous thing was you really got down to it. It can be done. It's got to work. You must analyze the real analysis, not just hook or by crook. I was so impressed. I've done a lot of science in my life. I keep coming here. Arey yaar, kaise kar rahe ho? An amazing manner in which you all get together to really see कि मजाक नहीं है कोई, इसमें तमाशा नहीं है. It has to be done and it can be done. I think that's the kind of spirit we have to bring to all our issues and problems in the country. ISRO has a lot more to give to the country. It started with Vikram Sarabhai. And I think we have to remember it. You are very special, very competent. खाली बात नहीं करते हो. गांव की बात नहीं करते हो, खाली आम आदमी की बात नहीं करते हो, काम करते हो, गहराई से करते हो. I'm so proud of my contact with you and so proud that you are still allow me to come here and invite me. I don't know, यार इतने बूढ़े आदमी क्यों को बुलाते हैं? I enjoy it and I really get lot of spirit in me to go on living so I can see you perform more and more and more and show to the country and show to the world that there are groups of people who can do extraordinary things and not just talk about them. And they keep on doing one after the other. What haven't you done sociologically? What haven't you done technologically? And that is what you can do. Grateful for my association with you, all of you. क्या कमाल के आदमी यार. And I think that is very important कि कमाल के आदमी दिखे मुल्क में. इस वक्त बहुत ज़रूरत है कि लोग कमाल के आदमी दिखते नहीं हैं. हिंदी बोल गया, बुरा तो नहीं लगा? Wonderful. Congratulations to all of you. And मेरी आंखों में आज इतने आंसू आए जब वो देखा आपका ये काम करते हैं कोल्ड वाला वो और साथ बैठे मेरे को बता रहे थे कि ये सिग्नल है, ये सिग्नल है. And I was so proud that I was here today. And congratulations and marvelous. It's good to be alive.
Let me salute all members of the team ISRO, past and present, all leaders of ISRO, past and present, all our colleagues and partners from Indian industry, academia, and the R&D laboratories of the country who stood with us firmly over the last 20 years to see this day. We are grateful to our Honorable Prime Minister who gave us all support, all encouragement, and when we had the last GSLV failure in December 2010, he told us, don't get disheartened, carry on. And sir, this is dedicated to you for all the support that you have given to us. And to all my friends from this country, ISRO will be there to fulfill the demands that you put on the space systems in the future. Thank you very much for all the support that you have given to us. And let me also thank the media for the support that they have given, and also those young people who are discussing intelligently on the Facebook, ISRO Mom and ISRO Official, and the Twitter ISRO Official. We have been able to convert about 3 lakh of this younger generation to discuss space science and technology, and the future is going to be great. Thank you very much. Thank you.